lot of strong negative feelings about StrangerVille, which is sad because it means that I don't build in that world very often. And the issue I have isn't so much with the world itself. It's like the weird build items, the horrible builds that EA made for the pack, and the kind of strange and repetitive gameplay. But the world itself is actually really cool. The environment is really impressive. It's kind of beautiful, especially up here on this cliffside. And there's actually a ton of lots in this world compared to other game pack worlds. There are more lots in just this little corner than there are total in the vampires and werewolves worlds. And I was thinking that today it might be kind of fun to try and build something in StrangerVille. I guess there's also the issue of the entire town being like literally possessed, but I'm just gonna ignore that part. And we're gonna try and build a house out here. This pack has an extremely weird selection of furniture because it has what I consider to be some of the best doors and windows in the entire game. But then when you start looking at the actual furniture, there's not really a lot of it that is useful. We've got this nice bookcase, but then most of it is like weird lab stuff. I guess I just don't really find things like this bunker bed and this like storage of emergency supplies to be all that useful. And it's a really weird combo with this like Victorian, beautiful old door set and then like hazardous waste bins. But I'd like to try and build some sort of pretty house with this pack and then maybe put like a bunker in the basement. I currently have just the base game and StrangerVille installed because it's been a long time since I really tried to put this pack to the test. My main desire right now, honestly, is that I really want to have a nice wraparound porch. That's like half of the inspiration for this house. We do also have some really pretty fences from this pack that we can try to use. And I think having some sort of pretty bump out like this would be kind of nice. It makes for a slightly more interesting shape. I'm not super sure about color scheme yet. I mostly just want to think about how it's laid out and then we can try and decorate it more. I probably will use some pretty accent colors of some sort because there's a lot of nice swatches from StrangerVille. I just don't know which ones yet. I have a feeling this house is going to be extremely small and yet super expensive. I just can tell already that we're not off to a good start price-wise. I guess I didn't really consider the fact that I should probably have a tower of some sort. I don't know if that's going to be extremely ugly or not. I do honestly think it's okay if this house is like kind of weird shape-wise. Oh, that's too tall. That's not gonna work. Let me try this one. Oh no. Maybe not this part. Maybe we don't do that at all. But it is meant to be an older house, so I do think that it's kind of fine if things are a little bit funky. I don't really know how this is gonna work. I'm trying to make this less weird. It's not working. I tried to do this with like an extra roof piece so it would look a little bit better. I honestly think I made it worse. That is such a weird shape right there. I wonder if it'll be better if there's like a different pattern on it. No, it won't be better if there's a weird shape on it. It actually looks worse. Okay, well, I was thinking about putting something like this in because this is like a little bump out just on top of where the door goes. I don't know what has come over me today. It's like I suddenly forgot how to build a house like this. I've built a million houses like this. Why is today worse? Okay, new and potentially worse plan. I'm gonna try something like this. Maybe it should be bigger. Oh no. I put a chimney. I don't know if that's worse. Oh my god. I'm doing such a bad job. Oh, let me start adding some color to it. I think it'll come together, okay? Just you wait. It's gonna be fine. Sometimes ugly is good, you know? I feel strongly about that, I think. Sometimes it's for the best. It's actually tiny on the inside too. How do I always do this? It looks massive from the exterior. Should we do something like that and get this ginormous trim in there? I tried to do something a little bit different on the back here. I think this might be worse, but it's okay. Okay, so here's the full vision for the shape of the house, and then we can get a cute backyard and stuff added in. Oh no. Why are you doing that on the inside? This is what I get for using freezes. The freezes are such a curse. No matter how you do it, no matter when you do it, they're always gonna glitch. The lighting is also horrible on this lot. Oh my god, look at that. You can't raise it up because of the freeze. Oh my. Maybe I'll put this on the front half. Although, is that gonna glitch my windows? Yeah, no, we can't do that because then it covers my pretty door. Okay, let's try a pretty little picket fence from the StrangerVille pack and we'll get that in the front yard because that is kind of adorable. And then I'll probably do the same thing in the backyard, just sort of like that. And I'm trying to decide what kind of color I want to use because I don't really like any of these. We could also paint the house white and then try and add in color with the trim and the windows and stuff. Oh my god, it looks bad from all times of day. No matter how you do it, it always looks bad. I can at least see it a little bit better on the back, I think. But we could potentially do it with the green accents. Oh wait, is that like beige? I feel like it's like green and beige. Oh, interesting. Also, should the second floor be medium wall height too? Or is that, I think that's bad. Okay, I don't really know what I'm going for with this. I'm just gonna try and put some windows in and see how it goes. I am obsessed with this window and I wish that we had more of them, like maybe a short wall height version, because I really like the shutters. It's so sad that we just have the one. We can use the 3 wide door, I think, right there in the front. You know what? This is cute. We should probably use a different door in the back, because the problem is all of these seem like front doors because they have like mail slots. So you don't really want a door that has a mail slot in the back of your house. We have these bigger ones. This one doesn't have a spot for mail. Maybe that's better. I really like the color of the white and green. I just think this is so cute. You know what else is annoying? The little windows don't come in the same colors. These ones are all solid. These ones have like accent colors. Why? What is the point? What is the point of that? I will never understand. I'm going through and adding some little accent things, like this item. I'm putting it up in the dormers. We have a guest, everyone. She demands attention. If you see a tail, oh, she left already. What the heck? If you see a tail, it's a cat. Don't worry about it. What? She is grumpy. She really wants attention and I'm busy. I'm sorry, Snap. I think the problem I am currently facing is that I hate this part. Like this section with the bump out, I don't know. It's kind of throwing me off. Well, it's a good thing that none of the doors fit on short wall height because that really complicates things. I wonder if I can use this one. It's only clipping a little bit and you can't tell that much from the outside and we can just ignore it on the inside, right? It's not that bad. The glass is like right there at the top. I think it's fine. And you're allowed to have like extra trim on the exterior. They can do that to make it look fancy. For me, the ideal Sims pack has windows and doors for all wall heights. They need like a full set to cover every single size that we might need. All right, I think after all of that, we finally figured out the color scheme and the exterior of the build. So I'm feeling good about this. All right, let's think about floor plan for a second because we have to figure out the whole rest of the interior. We do know that we're gonna wanna have a basement and I'm thinking that wrapping the staircase around might look a little bit better. I just don't know where to put it. You see, the house is actually quite small, so this does complicate things a little bit. Maybe this front room could become a bathroom. Oh, that looks bad though. Uh-oh. Okay, so as it turns out, I think it's gonna be laid out like this somehow. And I'll probably put the kitchen in like this little back corner. We'll do the living room here and then, uh-oh. Maybe honestly, we could just leave this open a little bit. I'll put some pretty columns or something. And then I don't know, the dining room could be back there. Okay, well, I can't figure out the downstairs still, but I figured out the upstairs. I'm picturing that we'll have a little bathroom right here. Oh no, you can't enter into this room. Okay. Okay, it's a weird L-shaped room now. Okay, so the plan is to have 2 bedrooms here. This will be a 3rd bedroom. And then this, wait, I've been stumped again. This is actually better. So we'll have this be the 3rd primary bedroom. They have a big balcony and a little ensuite bathroom. And that seems nice to me. I think this is a good layout. I think we can make this work. If I want to have a basement, I'm gonna have to figure out something and fast because I don't know where to put it. We also want to have a bathroom downstairs and I haven't really thought that through either. Okay, here's my new plan. I'm gonna make this into a bathroom downstairs and we're gonna put a ladder in there to get into the basement. Normally, I'm not a huge fan of, oh my god, that looks like horrible. Normally, I wouldn't want to have just a ladder in a basement. Like I'd usually try to have a staircase, but in this case, because I feel like we're trying to make it kind of creepy, I feel like it's okay. So you'll come in through that door and then you can access their little bunker thing in the basement and we'll decorate this somehow. I don't know what it's gonna be like exactly, but we'll have all the StrangerVille stuff in there. Let's go back to the outside for a second because I kind of want to start putting in some little bits of landscaping. We do have a fair bit of debug landscaping from this pack. This was actually the first time we ever got debug landscaping because we all complained so much about having these nice plants out here that you couldn't use, which actually worked out for the best because now we get debug landscaping for all of the packs. Oh my god, I don't know about that one. But that's why it's different. Like normally when you look in debug for landscaping, it doesn't show up in the bushes category. You have to like go through the debug menus, but the StrangerVille stuff is in the bushes category. Unfortunately, I might have to get rid of the foundation just so I can do it, but I would like to put some bigger bushes down up next to the house. This one's a bathroom, so it's probably good to have a giant bush blocking it. We might want to cover that up a little bit more. I also think that this kind of just helps to blend everything in a bit better. So in general, I'm kind of trying to mimic what the landscaping looks like outside. Oh, I love this. I don't know if it's like a bit too much or not, but I really like it and I like the colors of it, so I might use it anyway. I'm not really an expert on desert landscaping, as we know, given the fact that I live in Florida, so I'm kind of just winging it here. Okay, I'm trying out something like this too, because I think it might be cool to have a little bit of gravel and then like some more cactus type succulent landscaping. And then maybe I'll add in like 1 or 2 trees and say the build is done from the outside. I'll come back and do terrain paint afterward, but for now we want to think about the interior a little bit more. I want to get some nice old hardwood, and unfortunately at this point we are basically just furnishing a base game house, because whether we like it or not, there's not actually that much stuff from StrangerVille that can be used. In fact, there's just not that much stuff from StrangerVille in general. The pack just barely has anything in it. Do I use the wood or do I keep it in white? I love this bookshelf. It's just, it only has 4 swatches. I think the wood is probably good. I'm doing a little trick where I size up base game curtains. I'm really sorry. I know it's kind of chaotic. They're quite large and they're very far off the wall, but I think it looks better this way. Ooh, we can get a pretty yeehaw painting. Okay, sorry, I don't know why I just grabbed it that way. Oh, we can get a pretty yeehaw painting. What, Kayla, what are you talking about? Yeah, the green is simply not gonna work. It's gonna have to be a lot of white accents. Is that clipping? Oh my God, that is a big problem. Well, it's only doing it a little bit and I can cover that. See, look at this, problem solved. It's not clipping anymore. I'll put like a rug there. I don't know. There is a rug from StrangerVille. I don't really want to use this in the living room. I'm more likely to use this in one of the bedrooms, I think. Oh God, now we've really committed to the green thing. The whole place is gonna be green. I didn't mean for this to happen. Okay, here's what I'm thinking for the living room right now. And I know it's a lot of white, but I think I kind of like that because it matches the outside. Oh no, look at this mess. Well, that's a problem. Okay, sorry. The house of clipping. Everything clips in this place. Yeah, see, with the green, it's like, I think it's too much. Just trust the process, okay? Give me some time. I'll make it work. I'm gonna fit everything together. It's gonna look so good. I'm putting a dishwasher. This house is expensive. They deserve to have a dishwasher. I feel like I never put those in my builds. I always leave them out, and it makes no sense because in real life, having a dishwasher is such a game changer. But in The Sims, it like doesn't matter that much because I end up just throwing away plates myself because they take too long to wash them. But that's not exactly an appropriate mindset when it comes to real life. You know, just throwing away all of your dishes. It's fine. Okay, I think having the wood in the kitchen helps because it kind of breaks it all up a little bit more. I'm actually gonna put a table in there. This is kind of like a fake island. Your Sims can't cook on this, but it looks like they can. And you see people in real life do that where they get kind of like fancy buffet table type stuff and use it as an island. Then this room over here is gonna be the dining room. It has to be small because we have very little room, but it will be a dining room. I can get another yeehaw picture in a different color this time. And then I can put some pretty wall sconces or something. I think this is nice. It's very small. There's not a lot going on, but it works. We have this weird like corrugated metal thing going on. Maybe we just have wall lights in here because darker is a little bit better. And I'm gonna go through like everything that comes in StrangerVille because this is where we need to find all the good stuff. First of all, storage for emergencies. This is that listening device item. This is functional, so we're gonna wanna have this just so your Sims can actually use it. We have a cute little chair that matches. We've got a bunch of stains that we can put on the walls. That's gross. I got stains I can put on the floors. Also gross. I got these little papers. I might use one of these barrels or maybe even 2 of the barrels and just kind of tuck them in the side. Does this come in like a better swatch? I don't know. I don't love the like military energy of that item, but it is what it is. I don't know about that one. I'm not super set on it yet. I also don't know if I want to put like super sciencey stuff. Like I think that's maybe a little bit too far. We can get a couple things, and I don't think it would hurt to have this training equipment either if we stuck that in the corner. See, it's a gym. It's useful, right? This is the problem though. I think that's the bulk of the StrangerVille stuff that I'm gonna use in this house. Everything else is pretty much just gonna be base game. We're gonna tell people that this is a linen closet, okay? This door in the bathroom, the towels are in there. Okay, so here's what I've got for that downstairs bathroom. It's very simple. And then upstairs, I'll probably use the same wallpaper in the hallway. And I might get that yeehaw picture again. If we were playing with other packs, I'd probably put a thermostat and stuff up here, but I don't have those installed. So in the primary bathroom, I made sure we had both a shower and a tub just because it's more helpful to have both. And then as far as beds go, we do have a StrangerVille bed. I just can't bring myself to use that. I can't even bring myself to use this bed. I feel like it looks terrible. All the base game beds are so bad. At this point, I would seriously do anything to have another Swatch update and to have them go back and update some of these base game beds. The base game beds, couches, and kitchen counters, I think are like highest priority for a Swatch update. I just think that would make such a big difference for me in gameplay to have just like a few more Swatch sets and maybe like a few more plain Swatch sets specifically. Oh, we can use the StrangerVille laptop. That'll be good. Wow, these people have kind of a boring bedroom, huh? It's just not the cutest. We do have this nice desert painting. That kind of fits the color scheme. Is there any better bed? I guess we could always use something like this one. I don't know about that one. Maybe it does look a little bit better though. Yeah, I think that's a nicer layout. Okay, so there's the primary setup. Really quick, I want to decorate their balcony. It's not gonna have much. I want to do 2 planter boxes and then a telescope. I love the idea of a telescope up there. I think it looks cute too. And then we have 2 kids' bedrooms. And in these, I feel like they should be a little bit fancy. I want to use this blue wallpaper, but I think it looks bad with the green accents. Maybe it's better to commit to the kids' room vibes though, instead of trying to make it all fancy like this. I think this room would be good for a toddler specifically because it's quite small. Or potentially we could do an infant's room. They're infants for such a short amount of time though, and I think that infants and toddlers, their furniture is very easily interchangeable in game. Like the beds are the same size, so if you really wanted to swap an infant and toddler's room for your own gameplay, it's not hard to do. And again, this is basically just a base game room because there's literally nothing from StrangerVille that can be used to decorate a kid's room like this. There is not a single item. The only thing that I can think of is maybe we could use one of those alien lights and like the lava lamps. But we could use this unidentified lamp and try and make a space themed room and have like kind of a cute UFO light for one of the kids. Well, this is what I've got for the toddler's room. And then in this kid's room, this is where the space vibes are coming in. Maybe they could have some sort of desk back here in the corner and their bed can go over here. I don't know what wallpaper really screams space for a kid's room. That's why I end up using this one a lot. I always felt like the darker swatches of this seemed kind of good, but that's so much. Oh, maybe because we're going for this like space vibe, we could have some sciencey things in here. We can pretend that dragon has alien vibes. That's a bit of a stretch, but it might be cute. We also have these star wall lights, and those are probably good for this too. Okay, so this is what I've got so far for the kids' room. I put that giant starlight, which maybe took it a little bit too far. I like the vibes though. I think it's kind of fun. It has lots of toys, and I feel like that makes the whole interior complete. So now we have to start thinking about the outside a bit more. First things first, on the porch, I'm putting a chess table. I just think that it's so useful to have. I'm gonna put one in. I know I always do that, but I stand by it. I think it's helpful. And actually, maybe that would be better over here because we have like this nice big open space. I'm gonna decorate the porch with a couple custom flower boxes too. I would put like a rocking chair or some other cute things like that, but we don't have the other packs installed, so I'm making do with the base game stuff. I put a couple benches and the chess table. Outside, I'm kind of wondering about putting a pool. I don't know if that's a bad idea. I think we've got enough space and it's a fancy house. We can also put a couple of little lounge chairs down next to it. And then maybe even just a couple of additional planter boxes because I can put flowers in those like I did in the front. That actually really helps because there's not a lot of color back here yet. And then maybe last I'll just put some monkey bars because these, it comes in green, right? Oh, that's kind of cute. Then I'll just go through and get some terrain paint around all of the sides of this and underneath the plants. Probably also underneath the monkey bars. I'm not really obsessed with the landscaping. I think the landscaping is probably the worst part of this house, but I just don't really know what else to do with it. I'm kind of struggling with how to do this sort of deserty landscaping. It's not really my forte, but this is what the whole place looks like. Of course, the lighting is always bad, but I think it turned out kind of cute. Oh, I forgot about this. Oops. I didn't put anything in the roof line up here. We have that basement space instead, but the house in total is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. Downstairs, we've got a nice big open living and kitchen area. We have a dining room, a bathroom, a linen closet that actually is kind of scary. And then upstairs we've got 3 bedrooms and 1 more bathroom. And it also just uses the base game and the StrangerVille pack. I don't know how many of you actually have StrangerVille, but if you do, you can download this one. And hopefully you enjoyed this video. I really liked kind of experimenting a bit more with StrangerVille. I did realize that there's a lot less in this pack than I thought. And I knew that it was bad, but there's like basically nothing to furnish a house with. There's some really nice build stuff like the windows and the spandrels and the columns, but as far as furniture goes, it is really lacking. I really would not recommend that you buy StrangerVille if it's like your first pack. The gameplay is interesting, but it's kind of repetitive, so it ranks pretty low on my list of game packs. I'll be curious to know what your thoughts about it are, so let me know in the comments down below. And with that, I'm gonna end this video right here. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Okay, bye everybody. Hopefully you don't think it has McMansion energy, because I think it has slight McMansion energy, but I wasn't trying to go for that, so hopefully you like it.